Hello friends, welcome to my kitchen. First, let's take a saucepan and pour in enough water. Gently place 5 eggs into the water and add a little pinch of salt. Cover the saucepan with a lid and bring the water to a boil. This will take about 8 to 10 minutes. Next, take a large bowl and add 2 pounds or 900 grams of ground beef. Crack in 2 eggs. Then season it with 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, and 1 teaspoon of paprika. To give the meatloaf a bit of texture, add 2 ounces or 60 grams of breadcrumbs. Next, grate 1 onion. Friends, please write in the comments what country and city are you from. It's very nice to know that we can communicate all over the world. Add it to the bowl. Now grate 2 cloves of garlic. The garlic will give the meatloaf a wonderful aroma. Add them to the bowl. Finally, chop a bunch of fresh parsley. Friends, if you enjoy my content, subscribe to the channel to receive notifications about new similar recipes. Add it to the mixture. Parsley adds a lovely freshness that balances the rich flavors of the beef. Now, mix everything together very well. It's important that all the ingredients are thoroughly combined, so every slice is full of flavor. Once that's done, take a baking sheet lined with foil. Then, place a sheet of parchment paper on top. Spread the meat mixture onto the parchment paper, shaping it into a large rectangle. We're going to roll this up later, so make sure it's evenly spread out. Friends, I'd be happy if you could give this video a like, as it's the best reward from you. By now, the eggs should be ready. Carefully drain the hot water and cool the eggs under cold running water. Once they're cool enough to handle, peel them. Then place the peeled eggs in a row across the middle of the meat rectangle. Now, in a frying pan, melt half a stick or 60 grams of butter over medium heat. Finally, chop 1 carrot. If you have any questions about the recipe, write to me and I will answer as soon as I see it in the comments. Add it to the pan. Let it cook until it starts to soften. Then, chop 1 red bell pepper. And chop 1 yellow bell pepper. Add them to the pan with the carrot. Season with 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Stir everything together and let the vegetables cook for a few more minutes until they're tender. Once they're ready, remove the pan from the heat. Now add the cooked vegetables to the meatloaf. Place them carefully over the eggs, spreading them evenly. It's time to roll up our meatloaf. Start from one side and gently roll it over, tucking in the filling as you go. Use the parchment paper to help you roll it tightly. When the meatloaf is rolled up, wrap it in the foil, making sure it's well sealed. Place it in a preheated oven at 360 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius and bake for 1 hour. While our meatloaf is baking, let's prepare the potatoes. Take 4 to 5 potatoes and cut them into small cubes, just like you see in the video. Place them in a saucepan. Cover them with water and bring them to a boil. Cook the potatoes for about 10 minutes. They should be slightly tender, but not fully cooked. While the potatoes are boiling, let's get our frying pan ready again. Melt half a stick or 60 grams of butter over medium heat. Chop one white onion. Fry the onion until it becomes soft and golden. Then, chop 8 mushrooms into small pieces. Add them to the pan with the onion. Cook them together for about 5 minutes until the mushrooms release their juices and begin to brown. Once the potatoes are done, drain the water and add them to the pan with the onions and mushrooms. Now, chop 2 cloves of garlic. Add them to the potatoes. Season with 1 teaspoon of salt and 1 teaspoon of pepper. Then give everything a good stir. To finish, finely chop a bunch of green onions. Add them to the pan. Stir everything together once more. And remove from the heat. The potatoes should be golden and full of flavor. Now let's make a simple glaze for the meatloaf. In a small bowl, combine 3 tablespoons of tomato paste, 1 tablespoon of green mustard, 1 tablespoon of red paprika, 1 teaspoon of black pepper, 4 tablespoons of soy sauce, 1 tablespoon of grape vinegar, and 2 tablespoons of honey. Stir it all together until it's smooth and well mixed. After the meatloaf has baked for an hour, take it out of the oven. Carefully open the foil. And spread the glaze over the top and sides of the meatloaf. Then put it back in the oven for another 10 minutes. This will give it a beautiful, shiny finish and add a little extra flavor. Once the meatloaf is done, let it rest for a few minutes before slicing. When you cut into it, you'll see the beautiful layers of eggs, meat, and colorful vegetables. It looks absolutely delicious. Place 2 slices on a plate. Add a generous portion of the potatoes with mushrooms and onions. Now it's time to taste. The meatloaf is juicy, the potatoes are crispy, and the whole dish is just bursting with flavor. I hope you enjoy this recipe as much as I do. It's a wonderful dish for a family meal, and I'm sure it will become a favorite in your home. But that's not all. I have a second, no less delicious recipe for you. Let's start with pouring enough water into a large saucepan. Place 5 large potatoes in the water. Today, we're making a dish that's both comforting and delightful, perfect for a cozy family dinner. And cover the saucepan with a lid. When the water comes to a boil, add 1 teaspoon of salt. Cover again and cook for 10 minutes. While the potatoes are cooking, let's move on to the chicken. We're using 2 large chicken breasts today. Cut each breast into smaller pieces to make mini steaks. To tenderize the chicken, cover them with cling film and give it a good pound with a meat mallet. This helps the chicken cook evenly and absorb the flavors better. If you have any questions about the recipe, write to me and I will answer as soon as I see it in the comments. Now, lightly season the chicken with salt. And black pepper. Next, take 4 ounces or 120 grams of hard Swiss cheese and grate it finely. Friends, I'd be happy if you could give this video a like, as it's the best reward from you. Set half of it aside for later. We'll use it as a topping. Place the other half into a mixing bowl. Now, grate 2 ounces or 60 grams of Parmesan cheese. Add it to the bowl with the Swiss cheese. Now take 3 cloves of garlic and grate them finely on a mini grater for that lovely aromatic flavor. Friends, if you enjoy my content, subscribe to the channel to receive notifications about new similar recipes. Next, finely chop 1 bunch of parsley. To brighten up the filling, finally, stir in 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise, which will help bind everything together. Mix thoroughly until the filling is well combined. By now, your potatoes should be ready. Check them with a knife. They should be tender, but still firm. Drain the water and let the potatoes cool slightly. Once they're cool enough to handle, grate the boiled potatoes. And then place them into a large mixing bowl. To the grated potatoes, add 3 eggs. Three tablespoons of Greek yogurt, one teaspoon of salt, and half a teaspoon of black pepper. Mix everything together until well combined. take a baking dish and grease it lightly with some oil. Spread the potato mixture evenly in the dish, creating a nice smooth layer. Place the dish in a preheated oven at 360 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 degrees Celsius and let it bake for about 15 minutes. This will give our potato base a lovely golden crust. While the potatoes are in the oven, let's prepare our chicken rolls. Place a spoonful of the cheese filling on each piece of chicken. And then carefully roll it up. Next, take a strip of bacon and wrap it around the chicken roll, securing the filling inside. Repeat this with the rest of the chicken pieces. Heat a frying pan over medium heat and add a little oil. Once the oil is hot, place the chicken rolls in the pan. Fry them on all sides until the bacon is crispy and golden brown. The sizzling bacon and melting cheese create such a wonderful aroma. Your kitchen will smell amazing. Now remove the potato base from the oven. Place the chicken rolls on top of the potatoes, arranging them neatly in the dish. Take a few cherry tomatoes, cut them in half, tuck them between the chicken rolls. We'll also add about 4 ounces, or 120 grams, of mozzarella balls for extra creaminess. Finally, sprinkle the top with the remaining Swiss cheese we set aside earlier. This will melt beautifully in the oven, creating a golden, bubbly crust. Return the dish to the oven and bake for another 20 minutes until the cheese is melted and the chicken is fully cooked through. Let's prepare a simple but delicious sauce. Add 3 tablespoons of sour cream in a small bowl. Grate 1 pickled cucumber. Grate 1 clove of garlic. Finely chop a bunch of parsley. Finely chop a small bunch of green onions. Season with half a teaspoon of salt and half a teaspoon of black pepper. Mix everything together until well combined. This sauce adds a fresh, tangy flavor that pairs perfectly with the rich chicken and potatoes. And now, our delicious chicken and potato casserole is ready. The cheese is perfectly melted, the chicken rolls are tender, and the potatoes have a beautiful golden crust. To serve, place a portion of the casserole on a plate. Add a spoonful of the fresh sauce on the side and enjoy. The combination of crispy bacon, creamy cheese, and tender chicken with the rich potato base is simply irresistible. It's a comforting meal that your family will love. Thank you so much for cooking with me today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your comments below. I can't wait to cook with you again soon. Happy cooking.